This moment is nothing short of supernatural. You've entered a timeline so radically different from the past that even your bloodline won't be able to recognize what's about to unfold. This isn't just provision, it's divine precision. God has fully funded a transfer with your name on it, and the impact will stretch across your entire family, your legacy, and even the perceptions of those who once doubted you. What's coming isn't just for you to enjoy. It is meant to shock onlookers, silence doubters, and restore everything your lineage lost through delay, denial, and disbelief. What's about to appear in your hands will have no earthly explanation because heaven itself footed the bill. This is a sacred moment, and your participation is unlocking movement in the invisible realm. This chapter is where wishes turn into visible wealth and declarations open financial dimensions. Chosen one, what if I told you the transfer has already been approved? What if I revealed that you were never actually broke, only delayed for a strategic release? Haven has been holding your inheritance in escrow, waiting for the appointed hour, when it would serve not just your survival, but your shocking elevation. You are not here by chance. The reason your family won't be able to process what's coming is because this level of transformation was never modeled in your bloodline before. This is the kind of shift that causes generational jaws to drop, the kind of overflow that makes relatives whisper and skeptics confess. There's no way they did that on their own. And that's the point. You didn't. God did. This isn't just a check or a random deposit. This is a heaven-backed transaction designed to append everything you thought was fixed. This is the reversal of poverty that ran like a quiet current through your lineage. This is the disarming of lack, the dethroning of struggle. This is the divine rerouting of every seed you ever sowed in secret tears, every sacrifice you made that nobody applauded, every prayer you whispered when you had no evidence. And now, here comes the visible manifestation that proves God was never ignoring you. He was building your legacy in silence, and now that the silence is over, the wealth must speak loudly, publicly, and unapologetically. There's a reason why the transfer must be public, chosen one. It's not for vanity, it's for validation. Those who said you were crazy for trusting and waiting, those who mocked your faith and minimized your dreams, are about to witness what happens when divine alignment meets divine funding. You're stepping into a sequence of favor that no degree, family connection, or earthly strategy could have positioned you for. This is God's work, and because it's God's work, it's God's money. And since it's God's money, it must be released without explanation, permission, or apology. Do you understand what it means when heaven funds something? It means there's no need for man's approval. It means that debt doesn't delay you, and doors you never knocked on start swinging open. It means that banks start saying yes where they used to say no. That supernatural supply overtakes natural limitation. Grace becomes your greatest investor, and that's what's happening to you. This is not just provision, it is reposition. God is repositioning you through a financial surge that not only pays you, it places you. You will not be the same after this. Your last name won't carry the same story. This transfer will change what your family name means in the earth. You've proven that you could suffer in silence without bitterness, be overlooked and still stay obedient. You endured ridicule and survived long nights of lack while still encouraging others. You praised when you had pennies and tithed when it didn't make sense. And now your reward is no longer delayed. God is not just rewarding your obedience, He is restoring what was stolen from your bloodline. This is justice. This is spiritual payback. This is what happens when divine records are corrected in your favor. You were never meant to struggle forever. Struggle taught you, but it wasn't supposed to be permanent. You were always meant to lead the shift, to be the first to overflow, the first to own, the first to rise without guilt. The first to fund other people's dreams. To have enough to say yes without hesitation. This is not an accident. It is an appointment. This wealth transfer is a divine setup to disrupt the patterns that held your ancestors back. And yes, your family will be shocked. But they will also be blessed because through you, cycles will break and new legacies will begin. You've been carrying something sacred, walking around with the invisible signature of divine favor, while others only saw your flaws. But what they didn't see is that favor was gaining interest. Every rejection was adding value to your name, and every delay was increasing the harvest. The reason this transfer will shock your family is because they remember who you were. But God is about to show them who He made you to be. This is not a glow up. This is a glory release. And when the glory releases, resources come running. You've entered the overflow portal. You are being positioned as the family financier, the new banker of your bloodline. It's not just for survival, it's for revival. You're going to fund miracles, write checks for dreams, and be the answer to the prayers your family never had the faith to speak out loud. You are the evidence of divine reversal, and they will ask how. Your answer will be simple. God funded it. Your posture is different now. You don't beg, you authorize. You don't wait, you activate. You don't fear, you fund. You're walking in the rare air of divine provision, where miracles are your currency and obedience is your investment. You are not praying for money anymore. You are directing its flow because the money has already been dispatched. The favor has already been released. The wealth has already been written into your story, and your family is about to witness the manifestation of every quiet. Yes, you gave God when nobody was watching. You are no longer just the dreamer. You are the distributor. You are the investor. You are the overflow. And yes, this will shock the ones who underestimated you, but it will also activate the ones who were waiting to believe. Your life is about to be the sermon they never heard in church, the kind of message that doesn't need a microphone, because the evidence is loud, the abundance is visible, the fruit speaks, and the fruit says heaven funds its favorites. And you, chosen one, are favored. There's a divine reason why it had to happen this way. Why the money didn't come earlier. Why the doors stayed closed longer than you expected. Why your journey looked slower than others. It wasn't because you were overlooked. It was because God was arranging a release so profound, so saturated in shock value, that it could only be understood in hindsight. This transfer is a generational statement. It's God rewriting the history of your family using you as His pen. This isn't just elevation, it's vindication. And this time, no one can claim the credit. You've walked a path few would understand. While others were being promoted, you were being processed. While they were acquiring things, you were acquiring understanding. While they were being praised, you were being proven. You had to learn the value of patience and how to steward emptiness without losing gratitude. And now you're about to learn what it feels like to carry something too big to hide. You're about to be trusted with financial oil that never runs dry. Your family will soon realize that this wealth didn't show up by accident. It showed up because destiny demanded it. Everything about your life has been marked with divine preparation. The jobs you didn't get, the relationships that didn't last, the help that never came, all of it was training, because you were never meant to operate in survival mode forever. You were being shaped into someone who could carry wealth with wisdom, authority, and vision. The wealth God is transferring into your hands is not for spending, it's for sending. You are about to become the one who sends healing, opportunity, and open doors into other people's lives. While your family may be shocked at the suddenness of it, the heavens have been shouting for years, "This one is ready." This is why you've been feeling the shift, why you suddenly lost tolerance for small talk, small vision, small faith. It's not pride, it's preparation. You're being upgraded in the spirit before it even shows in the natural. Your spirit knows something is coming. The atmosphere around you is charged. The resources are rallying, and the doors are creaking open in the unseen. Soon, the shift will become so tangible, so public, so undeniable that even those who haven't spoken to you in years will be forced to acknowledge the change. And they will ask, how? And once again, you will smile and say, God funded it. This is the kind of wealth that makes ancestors proud and descendants secure. It's not temporary, it's territorial. This transfer is here to secure a permanent reality. Your days of robbing Peter to pay Paul are over. The warfare you fought in silence has now paid off in ways your family will not understand at first, because they weren't with you in the caves. They weren't beside you when you had to believe without proof. But God saw it all, and now He's ready to reward it all, publicly, radically, irreversibly. There will be moments where you will want to shrink back, when the spotlight hits and the attention intensifies. When relatives suddenly start calling again and old voices return pretending they supported you all along, you will be tempted to go silent. Don't. This is not the time to retreat, it is the time to reign. You are stepping into a wealth seat that requires confidence, clarity, and courage. You didn't come this far to apologize for your anointing. You didn't endure this long to be shy about your assignment. This is what God has been preparing you for. And when He funds the move, you don't second-guess it. You step into it fully. Some people won't be able to handle the shift. They will say you changed. And they're right, you did. You were transformed by fire, purified by pressure, and matured by isolation. You became unrecognizable by earthly standards because heaven was reconstructing your entire destiny. So yes, you changed, but you didn't just change. You became. And what you became is too powerful to ignore. That's why the transfer is coming. It's not just to prove a point. It's to place you in your divine assignment. Your family may not have the language for it yet, but they will feel it. They will feel the shift when they see you walking in rooms that used to reject you. They will feel the shift when they hear your name mentioned in places they never thought you'd belong. They will feel the shift when they see you helping others rise while remaining anchored in humility. This is a holy upgrade, a God-orchestrated unveiling, and it's coming with such force that it will rewire how your name is spoken at the dinner table. From now on, your name will not be associated with pain. It will be synonymous with provision. This kind of funding requires divine authorization, and you've been approved. You didn't need to submit an application to man, because heaven already had your yes on file. You didn't need a co-signer, because grace already guaranteed the transaction. You didn't need credit, because faith has been building your spiritual equity. And now the treasury of heaven has been instructed to release what belongs to you. What was once delayed is now being delivered. What was once locked is now being loosed. And the world will soon understand what happens when God Himself signs the transfer. Let them watch. Let them speculate. Let them wonder where it came from. They won't understand the divine timing. They won't see the angels that fought for you. They won't know about the warfare you didn't speak of, but the evidence will be undeniable. You've entered the stage of divine visibility, where you no longer have to explain yourself, because the results will speak. You won't have to argue with doubters, because the fruit will silence them. You won't have to fight for a seat, because you've been given the table. And at this table, wealth flows without friction. At this table, heaven and earth agree on your worth. At this table, destiny eats with you. And your family, whether ready or not, will have front row seats to your rise. Chosen one, the wealth is not just financial, it's foundational. It is funding joy, clarity, and healing. It is funding healthy relationships, impactful businesses, and creativity that flows freely. You are entering a new economy, an economy of heaven where money moves at the speed of faith. The more aligned you stay, the more rapid the release. This is the rhythm now, no more delay, no more doubt, no more drought. You are stepping into the rhythm of release, and your family will see it with their own eyes. This is the moment where everything shifts, and when it shifts, you will not return to who you were before. You will not reduce yourself for comfort. You will not dim your light to avoid offense. You will not deny what you carry. You will rise. You will shine. You will lead. You will fund. You will dominate. And you will do it with grace and humility, but you will do it undeniably. Because this isn't ambition, it's alignment. This isn't ego, it's elevation. This isn't hype, it's harvest. And your harvest has been long overdue. What is happening to you now is irreversible. This is not a temporary moment of favor. It is a permanent restructuring of how your life functions. You are not entering a blessing. You are becoming a portal. And because you are the portal, God is releasing through you a flow so strong, so pure, so undeniable, that even those who once rolled their eyes at your vision will now be forced to respect your voice. Your family will be baffled not just by the amount, not just by the acceleration, but by the authority you now walk in. They'll realize this wasn't a lottery, it was a lifting. And you were the one chosen to carry it. You see, what your family didn't realize is that you were the seed. The one buried in obscurity, watered by tears, nourished by warfare, and now breaking through the surface. You were the one God hid in plain sight, the one He allowed to be mocked, doubted, and misjudged. So when the moment of transfer arrived, no one could take credit but Him. The shock isn't just in the transfer, it's in the transformation. How could someone who came from so little now hold so much? How could the one they once pitied now walk in plenty? How could the overlooked one become the overflowed one? The answer is simple: divine funding. And this divine funding doesn't just bring cash. It carries calling. It carries consequence. It carries kingdom weight. It is meant to set you apart, not make you arrogant. You were not sent here to impress them. You were sent here to interrupt the generational pattern of financial bondage. Your inheritance isn't about you. It's about the blueprint, the new design, the heavenly model. God is rewriting how money flows in your family, and He's using your hands to do it. You are the new distribution center, the spiritual accountant, the heavenly strategist, the financier of purpose. And yes, it will shock them. But after the shock comes submission, and after the submission comes shift. Chosen one, your humility is what qualified you. Don't let the size of the blessing make you question whether it's truly for you. It is. You are the one God found faithful, the one who praised with nothing, the one who stayed planted while others wandered, the one who gave even when you were in need. And now the heavens have declared, it's your time. The transfer has been initiated, and it's not stopping at you, it's flowing through you. Your family will see it. They will watch as the one they overlooked becomes the anchor that stabilizes everything. And they will know it was God. Prepare yourself, because this kind of increase brings new responsibility. The silence you've mastered will now become your weapon of wisdom. The people who once dismissed you may try to return, but not everyone from the past belongs in this future. You must discern, because with elevation comes exposure, and with funding comes focus. Do not allow your attention to be diluted by opinions. Stay anchored in your purpose. Stay loyal to the source. You didn't chase this, it was drawn to your alignment, and only continued alignment will allow you to steward it well. This is the era where you no longer explain, only execute. Let them see the results. Let them wrestle with the reality. Let them witness the wonder. You have no obligation to soften the blessing. You have no responsibility to make your success digestible for those who doubted your destiny. Your only obligation is to walk in truth, to lead with love, and to fund what heaven shows you. The divine strategy is not up for debate. The wealth is here to work through you, not comfort you into complacency. Your hands must build. Your vision must guide. Your obedience must remain radical. What you may not realize, chosen one, is that your family was waiting for someone like you. Even if they never said it out loud, they were praying with their silence. They were hoping inside their hardness. And now your breakthrough becomes their belief. They may not say thank you at first. They may not admit how proud they are, but deep down they will know. You carried something different. You dared to believe differently. You endured differently. And now you rise differently. You are not the same person they thought they knew, and that is by divine design. God has a history of choosing the unexpected. And in this case, you are the divine surprise, the miracle they didn't see coming, the story that doesn't make sense until you see the whole picture. And now, piece by piece, the picture is forming. And it's beautiful, it's bold, it's soaked in glory, and it's funded. Fully funded. You will not lack for the assignment ahead. You will not lack the tools, the land, the allies, the resources, the provision. Because God already saw it coming. He already prepared the field before He called you to walk in it. And now you are simply stepping into what was already yours. You are being called to disrupt gracefully. Your rise is not chaotic, it is calibrated. It is quiet thunder. Sacred power. You're not showing off, you're showing up. You're arriving at the destiny that was always waiting for you. And the people who never expected much from you will now be staring in stunned silence. And the stunned silence will be the confirmation that the heavens have struck their mark. For silence speaks louder than denial when the evidence is undeniable. You, chosen one, are about to live in a reality where every step you take confirms the prophecy over your life. This transfer will not just change what's in your hands. It will change the climate around you. Atmospheres will shift when you walk in, not because you demanded recognition, but because divine endorsement carries a weight that cannot be ignored. You will notice it in the way people pause before speaking to you, in the way opportunities start chasing you down instead of you chasing them. You will sense it when rooms that once felt closed now open without resistance, when systems that once rejected you begin to bend in your favor. This is not just wealth, it is influence, the kind that cannot be purchased or imitated because it is rooted in heaven's will, not man's approval. The kind that makes those in power want to hear your voice, not just know your name. You have been prepared to handle this level of authority without losing your humility, to steward this kind of overflow without becoming intoxicated by it. And while others may see only the numbers, the possessions, or the headlines, you will know that the true transfer is spiritual. The resources are simply the physical confirmation of what God already declared in the unseen, that you are His vessel, chosen to demonstrate what divine alignment looks like when it meets divine abundance. Do not underestimate the ripple effect of what's about to happen. When you walk in this next season, you're not just carrying provision, you're carrying proof. Proof that faith works. Proof that God restores. Proof that waiting is never wasted. Your story will become a living testimony that speaks to those who are still in their midnight seasons, whispering to them that the dawn will come. And your presence in the room will be the prophecy they didn't know they needed. You are the before and after picture that will stir courage in the discouraged, faith in the faithless, and vision in the blind. But here is the secret that few understand. This is not the end goal. This transfer is only the opening move of a much larger divine strategy. God is not just blessing you. He is positioning you to build what He has been planning for generations. This is about territory, physical, spiritual, and generational. This is about reclaiming what the enemy thought he could keep. about restoring what your bloodline was robbed of, about planting seeds that will feed not just your children, but your children's children's children. The money is not the mission. It is the muscle. And you, chosen one, are the heartbeat driving it forward. So walk with your head high, but your knees bent in reverence. Hold the blessing tightly enough to steward it, but loosely enough to release it when heaven says so. You are not just a recipient, you are a river. And rivers don't store water, they move it where it's needed. This is your assignment now, to fund the visions God brings before you, to invest in the dreams that align with His kingdom, to use your influence to open doors for others still in the shadows. Because this is not the end of your story. It is the part where the world finally begins to see the chapters heaven has been writing in private all along. And when your family sees it, when they see the land, the businesses, the freedom, the restoration, they will have no choice but to admit it was God. And in that moment, chosen one, you will realize that the shock was never the goal. The goal was always the shift, and the shift has now begun. And the shift will not be a fleeting gust. It will be a permanent wind that carries everything connected to you into a higher atmosphere. Old patterns will suffocate in this new elevation, because the air up here is too pure for what once drained you. The cycles that ran unchecked for generations will wither under the light of your obedience. This is not a seasonal blessing, it is a structural reformation. Haven has not just given you resources, it has rewritten your reality. You will look around and realize that the metrics you once used to measure success no longer apply. What used to feel like a miracle will now be your baseline, because the supernatural has become your new normal. This shift will teach your family something they could not learn through words alone, that God doesn't just repair. He rebuilds, He redefines, and He raises. Your name, once tethered to lack or limitation, will now carry the weight of credibility, influence, and divine endorsement. And with that weight comes a responsibility to guard it fiercely. Not everyone will celebrate. Some will watch with folded arms, others will whisper, and a few will attempt to attach themselves to the blessing without understanding the burden. But you will discern. You will protect the flow because you understand it is holy. Chosen one, you are stepping into the role of a spiritual architect. You will not only build for yourself, you will design frameworks that others can live in long after you are gone. The schools you fund, the land you secure, the opportunities you create, these will become shelters for generations unborn. People will live under the shade of trees you plant, and they will never know the warfare it took to get the seed in the ground. That's because your assignment is not about being remembered. It's about ensuring the remembrance of God's goodness through what He built with your hands. The transfer will bring visibility, but the purpose will demand vision. You will not have time to squander this moment on petty disputes, small-minded distractions, or ego-driven pursuits. Your focus must sharpen, your pace must quicken, and your prayers must deepen. Because the same God who funded the move will keep funding it, as long as your heart stays aligned with the mission. Every yes you give Him will release another wave of provision. Every act of obedience will draw another door into your path. This is the rhythm of release, and once you step into it, the only limit is your willingness to trust. So when your family sits across from you, still trying to wrap their minds around how you became the one holding the keys, the deeds, the titles, you will simply smile, not because you owe them an explanation, but because you understand the truth. This was never about you being ready. It was about the world being ready to see what God had been shaping in secret. And now that the time has come, there is no turning back. The gates are open, the resources are flowing, and the assignment is active. This is not just the season of your blessing, chosen one. This is the era of your building. and what you build in this era will echo through eternity. If this message spoke to you, I'd be truly grateful if you'd subscribe and join our community here. Your presence means more than numbers. It's about walking this journey together. Thank you for listening, and may you always be guided in light and truth.